In this daily drop, I'm going to talk a little bit about my thought process for an upcoming project I have next week in Los Angeles. So let's go. Okay, things are moving quickly here. I got an email on Friday evening of last week at around 7 p.m. saying, we're doing it, we're moving forward, I hope you're still available. That was the gist of it. And this is for a project I've been talking with a company about doing for a long time. It is around a new product, and going into a holiday like we just did, or the holiday season, just sort of compounds the complexities of getting something like this set up when you don't know for sure that it's going to happen. But let me just talk a little bit about the process here. So these are educational videos. I think it's actually going to wind up being one video in and around a new product, but we'll see how that pans out. That again, I've been talking to this company about doing for quite some time. And we had a couple of dates in January that were just placeholders. And then as we went into the holidays and I didn't hear anything at all about the project, I just figured it's probably not going to happen when at least we're talking about it happening. And then again, I got an email last Friday saying, it's a go. Are you still available? Well, I was still available because I was holding those dates. I did have a sound recordist also holding a couple of dates as a soft hold. And one of the things that we often do in this industry, most of you know this, is that when you're soft holding somebody as a producer, my role in this project, also content, I'm going to be shooting, I'm going to be directing, all of that stuff. But as a producer, what you do is you reach out to crew and you say, could you soft hold that? And please let me know if you're going to get challenged on those dates so that I can find out if the production's moving forward or not. And it's pretty standard practice. I'm happy to do it if I'm not going into a project as a producer. There is going to be that time, usually 3-4 weeks before the production, where I'm going to check in. And from a producer standpoint, one of the things that I always try to do is make sure that if I can, I'm releasing people at least 2 weeks before the date of a project, if it's not going to happen, so that they can take other work. But the soft holding, let me know if you're getting challenged thing is definitely a good way to go, because that way they can say to you, by the way, I got a call about those dates. And then it sort of allows you to go back to your client, check to see if the project's happening. If it is, then you can lock people in. If it's not, you can release them. You get the basic idea. So what's really working against us on this particular production is lack of time. We have about a week until we are on set, and we are pre-lighting and figuring everything out. So it's going to be a busy week in terms of coordination. But from my standpoint, what needs to happen are things need to happen here in Oregon, and then things need to happen down in California. So I just had a meeting with the client about the stuff down in California. We're talking about equipment, we're talking about crew, we're talking about talent, all of the key things that have to come together and be ready by the end of this week so that things are happening. And then on my end, up here, I'm producing, I'm directing, and I'm also shooting content. So it's going to be a lot of things. It's not just going to be me, but it is a lot. And the first thing, besides making sure that my crew is in place, is to make sure that I have sort of the dotted I's and the crossed T's. So I sent out an email immediately to my insurance company to make sure I can get a certificate of insurance for the location that we're going to be doing production, and lock in that sound recordist that I need for the production. And then it's really about what equipment am I bringing down to this particular shoot. And because I have a sound recordist, I don't need to think about sound. I will need a time code cable for the FX30, that camera right there, which I'm going to be shooting a lot of the content on, which I have ordered from Deity, which is the C23, which allows you to plug into FX3, FX30. You can actually get time code in through the TC1 And that way I can just make sure, because we're going to be doing double system sound, that my time code matches what is on the mixer recorder for the sound recordist. And then it's the small but important stuff from my side that I have to bring. So I'm going to basically be bringing cameras. I'm going to be bringing lenses. I'm going to be bringing some sort of camera support. I might talk about that in another episode, or just do it from the location, because it's kind of interesting solution, which I'm kind of digging in spaces that are studio spaces, not for outdoor stuff and on location stuff. And then I've got to make sure, which I had ordered ahead of time before the holidays, that I have my hard drives, that I have card readers, that I have my laptop and all of the stuff that I need for that. So it's not a huge amount of equipment, but I'll probably wind up bringing some lighting modifiers as well, just to make sure that when I'm doing things like having the crew slash talent, because there's going to be this sort of weird mix, because the cinematographer and the gaffer are going to be talent, but they're also crew. I'm going to have them on camera talking about what they're doing with these products. So I do need to make sure that I have enough stuff to pull that off, but then there's going to be a whole separate thing happening on set, where there's going to be the hero camera, probably a Venice 2 or something similar to that, which they're going to be using for their production. And it will be the cinematographer, the gaffer, there'll be a camera operator, there'll be an AC who will be pulling focus, and then there'll obviously be talent, people who are in front of the camera, who are going to be the ones that they're going to be filming, capturing this content with. So I'm going to have to grab my content from my camera or cameras, and then that hero through the lens footage, and use that to tell the story of how we're using these products in production. It's going to be fun. But that's what's going on inside of my head right now. I didn't even think this was going to happen, when it's going to happen, but it's all fine. Flights are booked, hotels, hotel is set up, all of that stuff. And these are, this is a location, LA, Burbank, that I've gone to many, many, many times for work. I fly into the same airport, I stay at the same hotel, and then I just Uber to places if I need to get in and around Los Angeles. So I'm excited about it. It's great to be back into production again, and I will create some content at least from there. But I just wanted to sort of share my thought process and some of the insanity that goes through my head, at least in terms of planning. And it's not all just sitting inside of here. It's lots of emails, it's Zoom meetings, it's all of that stuff to make sure that, again, I'm dotting I's, I'm crossing T's, and we're not forgetting anything. And most importantly, that we're planning as much as possible this week to make sure that we can create the best content we can. So there you go. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.